Hey guys, so today we are going to be talking about the Minecraft spider. So spiders are pretty cool, but they're also pretty weak too. They spawn in groups of 4. A spider can spawn in a 3x3 by 1.5 area in Java Edition, however can spawn in a 2x2 by 1 area in Bedrock Edition. They can also only spawn on opaque blocks, but the top blocks can be transparent but not solid. They can also only spawn if the light level is 7 or below. They also can't spawn in groups in forest biomes, however there are more in those biomes. They also spawn on levels if they have 3x3x2 spaces around them. They have a 25% chance of spawning in dungeons, which would be good for spider eye farms or string farms if you are really bad at fighting skeletons, but all you need to do is make a shield, and that makes you really bad at the game if you can't fight them. Another place they spawn in is secret rooms in woodland mansions that have cobwebs in them. The secret rooms are basically like the secret rooms in FNAF. Spiders can also spawn with an epic buff to literally destroy everything in their way. However, this is only on hard difficulty on Java, which is the only difficulty you should play because epic swag gamers play on that difficulty, and if you don't, then you're bad. Buffs that they spawn with can be speed, strength, invisibility, and regeneration. The spider with invisibility can sometimes scare you. However, you can still see the eyes of a spider with invisibility, but the other ones are just like the normal spider but enhanced. Speed has the highest chance to be on a spider because the spider has a 40% chance of spawning with the speed buff but a 20% chance of spawning with any other buff. The buff that spawns on a spider lasts for 3.4 years, and unless you put the spider in a boat or put a name tag on it, then you won't be able to see the spider's buff get removed, which is crazy, and I'm pretty sure that when a player encounters the spider with the buff, they just kill it or wait for it to despawn or something. Now, some of the coolest parts about the spider are that it forms what I like to call composite mobs, but are probably officially called something else. They create one called the Spider Jockey, which is usually composed of a spider and a skeleton. This thing is genius because it combines the unique movement of the spider with the annoying long range of the skeleton. This means that it has both agility and accuracy. The two mobs that spawn on it are still separate entities, so you have to kill them separately. So you have to kill both of them. Or you can get them both in a hit, but if you kill one before the other, it just becomes a normal mob. The chance of this composite mob spawning is 1%. Now this mob gets even better because of the Stray, which is a snow variant of the skeleton mob that was added in 1.10, and it basically shoots arrows that have slowness on them and makes cooler sounds. This adds another component to the agility, accuracy, and long range of this composite mob, which is debuffing the player, which is amazing and pretty scary because it means having a difficult time dodging arrows and a difficult time running from the mob or to it. Now this composite mob has a 0.8% chance of spawning in some snow biomes. The next variant of the Spider Jockey basically takes the Stray Jockey variant and has the opposite theme because it can spawn in the nether. This variant spawns with the Wither Skeleton, and I can't really imagine what that's like, and I'm not going to explain what the Wither Skeleton is like in this video because it's one of the most popular mobs in the game. I can imagine that the deadliness of the Withering debuff would work perfectly with the speed and agility of the spider. When spiders die, they drop 0 to 2 pieces of string, which increases per level of looting, which is why they can be used in string farms. Another thing they drop are spider eyes, and there's a 1/3 chance that spider eyes are dropped if killed by the player or a tamed wolf. However, that amount can change when you have looting, and to find the chance of a spider not dropping spider eyes, you do 2 divided by the level of enchanting, which is L. They also drop 5 XP when they're killed by a player or a tamed wolf. When spiders die, they flip on their backs, which is cool because most other mobs go on their side. Spiders become hostile to a player or a golem if the light level is 11 or less, but that doesn't mean you can hit them without them fighting back because hitting them will turn them hostile even with a light level of 11 or more, and they won't even turn neutral if they are already hostile at you and then the light level increases to 11 or more. The only way that they can turn neutral again is if they take damage non-directly, like not when an enemy hits them. They can see players up to 16 blocks away and climb over blocks if they are next to them but not above them. This means that if you hate spiders, then all you need to do is put overhangs on your roof or build a wall with an overhang. They can also see through blocks. Some cool things that can only be seen in certain versions of Minecraft that relates to the subject are that spiders can't climb magma blocks in Bedrock, and if they try to go through the world border, they will just climb it in Java. Back to the normal stuff. If unable to find a way to kill the player, they will go behind or on top of a wall. They also always attempt to move towards the player while hostile. Something interesting is that spiders move in the same direction for 2 seconds towards the player even if they lose aggression. If they're shot by an arrow, they go in the direction that the arrow came from, which is pretty interesting. If you try to evade or fight spiders, don't use a potion of poison because they're immune. They're also immune to the slowness of webs, which is why they're so scary when you go in abandoned mine shafts. When spiders are in close range to the player, they try to pounce on them, and if they're in 1 block deep water, when they touch the ground, they pounce on you in close range also. Bane of Arthropods, also known as the worst and most situational enchant that you could get on a sword, actually does something to help you fight this mob, because this is like one of the 3 mobs that Bane of Arthropods can be used on. What it does is inflict slowness and more damage on spiders if it is Bane of Arthropods 4. Another thing you can use on spiders is that they can become hostile toward other mobs, which can be useful for escaping. Also for spider jockeys, the mob on the spider can accidentally shoot it and kill it, which is so funny and cool, or the mobs in the spider jockey could become hostile towards each other. My way of fighting the spider is to either just combo it with crits from my sword, or use a shield to stop its attacks or dodge its unique movement by moving in a different direction when the spider tries to jump on me, which is the most epic but least efficient way. Killing a spider or any mob as your first mob will get you the achievement Monster Hunter. The advancements you get from killing this mob are Adventure, which is to kill or be killed by a mob, Monster Hunter, which is the same as the achievement, and Monsters Hunted, where you kill every type of hostile mob. Some interesting things about the spider are that they were added in 0.26 survival test and used to be brown. Another interesting thing about spiders is that if you name them one of the names that flips them upside down, it will only flip one mob upside down. After all of the evidence, I think that the spider is a really cool mob. I like that it has unique movement and can create composite mobs that I was talking about. The texture and design of the spider is pretty cool. All of the merchandise of the spider is accurate. The attacking is good, and I feel like the spider being weak was a game balance thing. Spiders were made to be fast and agile and would probably be frustratingly hard if they had higher attack damage or higher health, aside from the regeneration buff that the spider gets in Pro Epic Gamer Chat Swagmaster Hard difficulty. I like the direction that the spider was taken in, because since it was a spider, it could have been small, which would have taken away from it, and it could have had many different attacks, and I'm glad that they kept it simple because it is a fairly common mob in Minecraft. If I had to rate this mob, I would give it an 8 out of 10 because of the difficulty. However, there are still some issues with it, like sometimes it gets stuck and suffocates, and it can also be killed easily because of how big it is, but I feel the good outweighs the bad, so that is my opinion on the mob. Thank you guys for watching this video, and that was information on the spider and my opinion on it.